Now, the rest of the story.
And welcome back. Alright, show of hands. Who all thought that the Bobcat wasn't going to be used for the next month or so? Because you'd be wrong. We're really utilizing the fact that we have another skid steer or loader machine on the farms. Basically how you're supposed to. We got Ryan is out putting the JCB to quite a bit of work. He was actually, as I was filming this video, he was still out doing stuff out of his place. And I'm utilizing the Bobcat at the home farm by loading bales and moving stuff out of my machine shed. I was shuffling some pallets around and I didn't quite get to it, but I was actually going to pick up or scoop up some manure, scrape up some manure, but I didn't quite get to it. So I figured you guys would get like a little video on me loading this bale carrier up with hay. We are still going through bales, not nearly as much as we were like in the thick of winter, but the cows definitely have slowed down the amount of feed that they are going through. We are down to feeding them, I think this stuff is first crop hay. They're not going through the hay as fast as they were going through the grass bales. The grass bales, they went through those bales literally like they were candy. Grass is easier to process, it's easier to chew, it's easier for them to really go to eat through. The calves too, even because this load of hay is actually destined for Ryan's cows, and the grass bales, you'll even catch the young newborn calves. You catch them nibbling on the grass bales. I don't know, it's just kind of like a monkey see, monkey do, or new calf see, new calf do kind of thing, because they mimic their mom and everything else like that. And this right here is actually the only grass bale I had left. You can see that it is a lot finer, a lot easier to chew on, a lot easier to pull pieces off on. I almost lost it. So, as far as the amount of round bales or hay that we have left, we are sitting really well, especially now that the cows have actually slowed down how much they're eating. We could really go through, and I think we'd make it to the 1st of June, till the first week of June, at the rate that we are going through hay, and we're really not doing that bad. We were going from feeding every other day, and we're down to about every 3 days, so really not that bad. Yeah, as far as the hay in general goes, I prefer making grass bales. These bales are really heavy, alfalfa, grass, whatever else, but our round bales are not light. On average, they run anywhere from 1,600 to 1,400 to 1,600 pounds per bale. My friend, he just sold a bunch of hay, and I think they were like right under 1,600 pounds a bale. You really underestimate how much these bales can really hold. Granted, it's not quite as fast as making like big square bales, because you have to actually stop and let the baler do its job for these rounds. But I don't know, depending on your operation, round bales work for us. You can handle letting them get wet too, because like for us, what tends to happen is, and you saw me stop there, I was checking my phone, somebody called me. What happens is, especially in this area of the country, southwest Wisconsin, making hay really is planned between the rain showers. And what happens is as soon as the field dries up where you can get out and cut it, which you can usually get out relatively quick after a decent rain, what we've been doing, because we have that rhino tedder, we go out, we'll windrow it, so we'll throw all the hay into a pile right behind the disc bind, as opposed to letting it lay out flat, and we'll let it sit like that for 12 to 24 hours, and then we'll go out after the ground has been exposed to the sunlight and the wind. It dries it out, and then we go through and hit it with the tedder. You got to be careful doing that, because if you allow the hay to dry too much, or if you don't do it properly, you allow the hay to dry down, and it increases your leaf loss exponentially. So there is a bit of a process that is recommended to do it. We've done it anywhere from having somebody, as long as you have the manpower to do it, having somebody go behind the disc bind by, I'd say, 3 or 4 hours and ted that way. That way it's relatively been freshly cut enough or cut recently enough that you don't really lose too many leaves. Or the other one is wait until early the next morning before the dew gets off the ground and ted it then. We've done it both. If you can get away with tedding it the same day, I prefer to. But then again, it's a manpower thing, because a lot of the times we'll cut until the end of the day or until dark, and it's kind of counterproductive to go out at 10 o'clock at night and ted hay. So if it's a one-man operation, you just kind of have to plan for it, depending on who you have around to help. We have a bunch of new seeding that does have to go in. We don't have a whole lot of like decent hay ground right now, so it's really gonna. Well, we had a lot of grass last year than what we normally would. We do go through. We have about 15 acres of actual pasture that might seem kind of counterproductive to people, that we should just graze it off, and I agree. Grazing does help, but by going through and making a first cutting off of this 15 acres of hay that we do, it allows us to utilize it better throughout the winter, because the cows do tend to let it overgrow and they don't quite utilize all their feed like they really could. So that's why we go through and we do make the hay like we do, and that way it does, it extends out the amount of feed we have available. And like I just said, grass is they really go towards the grass all year around. We don't chop, we don't wrap or anything else like that. I do think that we may end up having to consider doing some wrapping, especially for the amount of new seeding that we'll be making this year. At least try to utilize those bales so we don't lose the feed. But it's really going to depend on how this year treats us, because I'm not shy with saying it that Mother Nature, the weather has been difficult. I think every farmer will agree with that. But I don't know, it's just adapting to what Mother Nature throws at you. I'd much rather be doing tillage right now, don't get me wrong. So, and as far as this shed goes, I do have the shed behind here that has about a third. It's about a third full of hay yet. As far as the bales that we have left, we're not really planning on. We're not going to be selling anything. We're actually going to be perfectly fine with having hay left over, because with the extra cows we have around, it's just going to be extra feed to carry over into next year. So, and Brittany wants me for something. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, she's just standing behind here and watching. You want to say hi before the video ends?
Hi.
So, what's Brittany been up to?
Making supper.
Making supper. And with that, guys, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Thanks for riding along. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. Bye.